Good morning, dreamers. How are you today? This is my New Brunswick mug because that is where Carl is today. Whew. I just fed the cats and they're eating far too quickly. um, but while I was trying to feed them, they kept getting under my feet. And this thought struck me that I'm tripping over them even though I want to care for them and they want me to care for them. But they're making their presence known and they're saying, this is what I need from you right now. And last night I did the same thing, but it wasn't with the cats. I was bugging God and I was saying, this is what I need from you right now. I really need this. And he gave me an understanding of something that I'd been struggling with for a while. But I didn't get down on my knees. I didn't start to speak in a spiritual language. I didn't yell at him or get angry with him for not answering. I just said, look, I need something from you. You've made all these promises and I need you to show up. And I don't know why he chose that moment to show up. I don't know. Because often people get very angry because he doesn't show up on our timing. And to be real with you, it wasn't my timing. My timing would have been months and months and months ago. But God was developing something in me. And I was learning how to do some work in therapy. I'm not saying that there's no place for therapy. There's no place for personal growth. I take my meds every morning. There, you can have Jesus and a therapist too. I'm not going down that road, but for some reason, I guess it was time. And we don't always understand God's timing. And we don't, often people will say, why are my prayers not getting answered? Why are they not getting answered? And I ask as a parent, well, could they be getting answered and you just don't like the answer of wait or of no or of I'm going to solve this problem a way that you don't want me to? A different way? Often we see that in healing, right? God says, I will heal this person for you, but it's going to be by ending their assignment on life, on earth, in this life, so that they can be released from this pain and released from this pressure and released from this illness. And we don't like that answer. It hurts. That answer really hurts. But as a parent, sometimes we have to say the tough stuff, right? Sometimes we have to do the very difficult things. And it just made me realize yesterday that I'd done the work. The prayer hadn't changed. But for some reason, getting under the feet of God made him stop and provide the answer that I needed. I know it's hokey to a lot of people, and I know that there's a lot of people that think that the way I experience faith is weird and strange. My mom called me her poet in a world of prose, and I understand that I'm an odd duck. Well, we are all odd to an extent. And there is a concept in Scripture of the earth being the footstool underneath God's throne. So when he puts everything in order, excuse me, mister, this is Licorice, by the way. Say goodbye, Licorice. When he puts things in order, as we see in Genesis 1, and he creates for himself the earth as a place of worship, he then puts his feet, his rest is his rule. So he sits in his throne, he rests, and he puts his feet literally on the footstool of earth and says, I will rule this place. I will love this place. I will give you what you need. Just let me be the one to be the orderer of things in your life. And I got under his feet yesterday and I said, look, God, I need this from you, but I need to know that you're also the one who is ordering this life. I trust that you brought me to this place for a reason. I know that this is the place I belong. But I'm struggling in this fit at the moment. And I need something from you to make this work. And he gave me the something. And I fit. I'm going to sneeze. Sorry in advance. Excuse me. So I guess my question to you is, my challenge to us all is get under God's feet. He has provision for us. And I don't mean riches and wealth, and I'm not talking stuff like that. But he will provide the basic needs. And sometimes we don't know what we need. We really don't. And last night I needed an answer on something specific. And I got it. I took the time to get under God's feet and to get in his face and say, I need something from you. Not in an arrogant way, but in a humble, I'm at the end of myself type of way. And he showed up. I don't know when and how he will show up for you, but if you're persistent enough, he will show up. Because I got up with Hannah at 4:45 so I could drive her to her car. And these cats were under my feet then too. It took over an hour for me to answer. And in their world, that's way too long, Mom. They were not happy that I took a shower first, I made my coffee first, that I did things before I then fed them. But I also know that if I feed them too early, they're going to get their feeding schedule totally wonky. And tonight will be miserable for them because I'm not going to feed them until their regular nighttime feeding schedule. And they'll be absolutely miserable. Just because the lights are on doesn't mean it's time. But I know that on their behalf. And I'm not saying we're animals. I'm not saying we need to be treated as such. I'm just saying sometimes there's things beyond our understanding. And I think that's where peace and faith come in. Having that peace that goes beyond understanding. Just knowing. And I was at that peaceful place last night where I could finally say, you know what? I need this from you, God. But I'm going to trust you for the journey. And yeah, he showed up. And I'm not saying I passed some sort of test and he said, oh, she's ready now. I'm probably going to mess it up later on today. But being under his feet and saying, I need something from you. And saying, I'm here. And you've created me in a valuable way. Therefore, I can get this answer from you, please. And not in an arrogant way, like I said. Nope. In a humble understanding that whatever occurs, God's got your back. A lot of you have felt that God doesn't have your back lately because it doesn't look the way you want it to look. But just remember, for those of you that work with kids, with teenagers, or you have your own kids or teenagers, or you have nieces or nephews or whatever it looks like, sometimes wait, hang on is an answer. Sometimes no is an answer. So let's not forget that God is answering every day. And wait on his time, and he shows up. He might not come when you want him to, but the guy at church yesterday leading worship reminded us in Chronicles of Narnia, Aslan's on the move, and Aslan shows up, and has been there the whole time, if we're just willing to look. Anyway, keep your feet on the ground while your head are in the clouds. Have some sweet dreams and know that I love you. Have a great day. Bye.